So you want to get started with D&D. It's hit the mainstream. There's been a ton of fantasy to come out in the past 20 years. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, the list goes on. You look at those characters and you want to put yourself in their seat. You want to fight dragons, you want to kill orcs. Didn't see Harry Potter, but you want to smash bad wizards, whatever. You're probably looking to play D&D. That's the avenue to make that kind of thing happen. So people are asking the question now way more often, how do I get started with D&D? Well, let's talk about that. First, you'll need a little bit of reference. I would suggest the Dungeons & Dragons starter kit. You can get that on Amazon for about $20. If it's your first time around, it's very little reading, enough cool supplements to play with, and not a lot of stress. If you want to dive a little deeper into the pool, starting out, you can always buy yourself a player's handbook. Player's Handbook runs about $30. They may have a sale to knock about $5 off it every so often. Definitely worth your money. Anyway, you need the reference. If you're really going to get into a serious game, you're going to need to take a look at the Player's Handbook, decide which race you'd like to play, which class you'd like to play, which background you're going to take, which equipment you want, and you're really going to flesh out the character that way. So, you've got a character. What do you need other than this Player's Handbook? You need a character sheet, right? You're going to record all of these things on this sheet. That way your mathematics are correct, your race is spelled out, your class is spelled out, the list goes on. Any notes you want to take to make yourself more of a character and less of just numbers on a sheet, put it right there. Now, this next thing you need will blow your mind. A pencil. Ink does not compute with tabletop role-playing games. Hit points change. I had 10 hit points. I got hit by an orc. Now I got 5 hit points. Then I got hit by another orc. I got 1 hit points. Thankfully, the cleric showed up. Boom! I just regained 8 hit points. Now I'm doing better. Those things change. Things don't change with ink, so don't use it. One of the other things you're going to need is dice. Now you can buy a dice set virtually anywhere. Any gaming store, on Amazon, wherever. They are cheap too. I bought a set of like 7 dice sets for $20 not long ago. That way I could hand some out to my friends and they could own them forever. Now, I'm a superstitious gamer and feel like everybody should have their own dice, especially since they're so inexpensive. Now, you're thinking, why have my own dice? What do you mean by superstitious? What I mean is, when you own and can channel your little magic or juju or good karma or whatever you want to call that force you keep inside yourself that turns luck in your favor, this kind of thing happens. Whenever you swipe dice off the table that some random brought in and chuck it across, you're probably going to wind up with something more like this. So again, I advocate you getting your own dice set. It's not going to break the bank. The last and most important thing you need for a D&D game, if you haven't guessed, is players. You must have other humans participating in the game. Ideally, there's 3 to 6 players, and you want to keep it on the lower end if it's your first time. Now, that way you can get some individual attention and the learning curve becomes less. You're going to need a DM too, and we will get into that in another video. But you want your players, your dice, your pencil, your character sheet. Then you'll be lined up and ready to go. So tell your friends. It's a lot easier to get someone live now that the pandemic's ending than trying to solicit on a virtual tabletop like Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, because those people don't know you, and really, any Dungeon Master hosting has all the control there. They tell you when to play, they tell you what you're playing, they give you any house rules or class restrictions or anything else. So if you could just pull your social circle together, get a not-so-serious game going, don't worry about it, because it's going to develop. Things can be hashed out later, numbers can be more certain, rules can be more certain, but right now, just sit down with your friends, have some fun, smash some orcs. Boom skis. Thanks for watching. If you like my video, like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like my video, sucks to suck. And I mean you, not me.